Hello, fabulous people. This is the Together podcast, and this is the place where Cherise and I come together to help you get it together for your everyday business life. So we hope you enjoy. So, good morning, everybody. How you guys doing?
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. How are you, Natalie?
I'm doing good. I am feeling settled in a way in which I haven't felt in a while. So this is really exciting. So, which is also, I think, kind of one of the things I want to talk about today. So I was, of course, you guys, I've been trying to get the coaching program up and off the ground and everything. So it has felt like this push, make it happen, make it happen, make it happen. And the energy was like, I got to make it happen right now. And so I've settled into, okay, we're going to make this happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And how do I make this sustainable? I'm going to take my glasses off. I can see better without my glasses. Like I'm struggling, y'all. I can't see. I'm struggling. Oh, I've reached the age where I need readers. So I'm trying to navigate when do I need them and when do I not need them.
Right.
So the computer is sometimes challenging. So, or figuring out whether I need far or night. Anyway, it's complicated. But anyway, back to settling down into business. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's almost kind of like a marathon, right? And so the first time you run a marathon, at least the first time I ran a marathon, I was so excited to be there and all the people. And so I started off at this sprint level and then realized, oh, this is not sustainable. Like I'm gonna have to settle back down into my like marathon pace. And y'all said forever since I ran a marathon. So I know y'all looking at me like, you ran a marathon? A long time ago. So not a full marathon at that. So I feel like that I've done that. Like I've settled into, okay, this business is going to be here. It's, and I think I just wrote an article. It hadn't hit LinkedIn yet, but I just wrote an article about slow and steady wins the race. Because I was feeling like, okay, stop trying to sprint, stop trying to make things happen.
Yeah.
Put it into the schedule. Slow and steady wins the race.
Yeah.
Slow growth is sustainable. And there's a saying that we have in the mental health field. I got it from one of my mentors. The slower you go, the faster you get there. And so it's that same concept from Tai Chi. So if anybody ever seen like the movies or the TV shows where the people are in the park doing Tai Chi, the very slow movements. And it is the concept of Tai Chi is the slower you move, because as you move very, very slowly, but very, very purposefully, you're fine tuning those muscles. Like you're making those muscles so precision that when it comes time to fight, you move very quickly. That slow, intentional movement causes very quick action in the fight. And so that's what's kind of behind Tai Chi. And that is a wonderful concept for business. And so when you take the time when you're moving slow, when you are fine tuning all of those small things. And right now, fine tuning for me is picking up on what we ended with last week is make sure I'm making an offer every time I'm speaking to my people, making an offer. So fine tuning that. Making sure I have all my paperwork in place. And then the biggest thing that I have to fine tune is putting social media and the new recordings I need to do into my schedule so that they happen.
Yeah.
So what was happening is I was like, oh, I need to post on social media. Oh, well, let me sit down. I got some time right now and make 5 posts and get them out.
Yeah.
But then I would go 2 weeks and not post. And so it's been very inconsistent as opposed to this is the dedicated solid time in my schedule in which is dedicated to this every week. So there's a consistency to it. And I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing during that time period. So I'm very excited about that. And the way my world works is I have made that decision. I cannot implement that decision until the probably 3rd Monday in August. So, and that's just the way my world works. So I will be able to implement that decision on Monday, August the 19th.
Okay.
Be able to implement that decision. Man, and I got meetings that morning too. So it'll have to be that afternoon. And the decision is following the the concepts from the 12-week work year. I think that's the name of the book. But have you heard of it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, of having that 3-hour time block, of having that 3-hour time block. And so right now, I just haven't had time in my schedule to do a 3-hour time block unless it was on a Sunday. And then I just don't feel like working because I'd be feeling like everybody else is chilling out, enjoying their life. So I don't feel like working. So it really wind up the combination of me watching movies on the couch and pretending like and moving my mouse around on the computer every 5 minutes.
I know. It's mental. It's so mental.
So
you mental. Get a little something done. Like, got that
done. That's about it. That's about it.
In your head and you wish you had gotten done.
Right. Yeah. So I think, and then I'm gonna give you the floor, but I think another, so as I was thinking about this call today, I wanted to talk to people about that. I wanted about pacing themselves, about dropping down into a knowing it's going to happen. Yeah. And then planning and conducting yourself accordingly so that we're not operating in that, like, it's got to be done right now. It's got to be done yesterday. I was supposed to be a millionaire 10 years ago. But to say, I'm in process, I'm on the way, I know the things to do, let me implement and make sure I'm doing them. And then also not, which I need to re-talk to all my people about, but a combination of not rushing the process and also understanding that it's a process. Because I think me specifically, like when I'm marketing, and I've done this so many times, I'm so mad at myself that I keep doing it. Like I market. And I'm like, I should have a harvest. And then I don't have a harvest. What's going on? Why isn't it working? And then like 2 months later, I have the harvest. And it's just like, you didn't wait long enough. And so the harvest does not, if it just historically, most people plant in the spring, you really got to chill out and tend in the summer, and you harvest in the fall. And so I have this, I've done it to myself so many times. It's like ridiculous that, okay, you didn't wait long enough. Okay, this is again, you didn't wait long enough. Okay, you didn't wait long enough. And when it comes to marketing, making sure that we're consistently sowing those seeds. So that's what's everything that's on my mind today. To jump in, tell me what you want, anything you want to talk about today before, or we can go deeper into all of that.
Yeah, well, I just want to talk about the amazing alignment that this is. I'm having my awakening and my breakthrough when it comes to slowing down and, slow motion. Hard for me. Very hard for me because I've always been in a fast-paced business since day one. And I'm used to fast money, everyday money, fast money always sitting there in my face, whether it's money that I should be applying to something or not. It was money in my face. So, which, that can be a gift and a curse if you don't know what you're doing. But I am really embodying this slow motion, this slow moving, because I'm understanding the real true value in it now, Natalie. And I think it's also a generational thing, an age thing as well, a maturity thing. But it's also, it's applicable across the board, relationships, your health, your wealth, every area. It's like, okay, just slow down. You've been trying to do it this way for all this time, and you see the cycle, and you've had success. Yes, you have. But why not slow down finally and do it right? And I'm telling you, when I say this morning in a session I had, my session started at 4. No, I woke up at 4. My session started at 5.
Oh, I didn't know you were still keeping that type of schedule. Go on, girl.
Oh, yeah. Because it just makes sense for me to still keep that schedule. Because it's also a breakthrough for a lot of people and a lot of new clients that I'm working with, because they're like, whoa, I'm teaching them to adopt that early morning ritual and work early in the morning.
I was thinking about that this morning for whatever reason, because that's how I found you. So I don't know. I just went through that memory this morning for whatever reason. But I
Yeah.
was on the phone with my friend Samantha, and I was talking about, girl, I need a stylist that works early in the morning. And she said, it was Samantha. She said, I think Nicole Jackson got a stylist that starts at 4 a.m. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what? That's my girl. Get me that number. Oh, never mind. I call Nicole myself. Oh no, I think she got the number for me,
Yeah.
but I was like, oh yeah, that's the one for me right there.
Yes. So, yep, that's how we met.
got to, I
And
got to find her. That's the 4 a.m. in the morning. That's my girl. That's gonna be my girl right there.
yes,
That is so
honey, we've
funny.
been rocking ever
And
since.
so I didn't know you had carried that on into the coaching world.
Oh, yeah. So my cash infusion is at 5 a.m. So, I tell my people, I work with a different
Mm-hmm.
type of woman anyway, with a different type of mindset. If you come
That's
meet
true.
me, if you used to come meet me at 4 a.m. in the morning at the salon, or you still meet me at 4 a.m., you're a different type of woman.
Yeah.
So
No.
my
You got
thing
a point.
is, my Tuesdays are really, really busy with coaching all day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, my mind said do something convenient for the people and do something 7, 8. I was like, mm-mm. I'm keeping it at 5 a.m. and whoever is serious will show up.
That's true.
And when I tell you the women been showing up, getting their information and hungry, because we're going through a series and it's like they're getting their information and it's business. So
Mm-hmm.
it's strictly business, and we're in that space of lead generation, creating what you're leading with, because that's the most important thing. Like, how are you showing up on your social and in your marketing? What are you leading with, even in your conversations, person to person? Like, what are you leading with? So that clarity at 5 a.m. in the morning, get
Mm.
that clarity, that breakthrough, and start implementing it immediately.
Yeah.
And it's a breakthrough. So
Yeah. I can see
back to
that.
that. So what's happening with that program? I'm gonna stop saying the name so much because I'm licensing it, but the slow motion of it, me having to slow down and implement it that way so that I could continue to build it out and perfect it.
Mm-hmm.
Natalie has been like, the clouds have cleared. Like, even this morning when I was on my 6 a.m. strategy session, building out my whole ecosystem and my framework, and I got it, what she's been trying to tell me. I can't make one more move until I finish this framework and these strategies and these numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I ran from numbers for all the money I ever made. I always ran from numbers.
Mm-hmm. I think I might have to
And
do a workshop just on that, just anxiety with numbers. We just gonna have to just have a come to Jesus meeting with these numbers, because numbers are your friend. Like, I had a doctor one time and she was like, it was so funny. Yeah, this was like in the last 10 years. She's like, okay, vegetables are your friend. And so, for whatever reason, her said it like I was a 2-year-old.
yeah,
Worked for me.
yeah,
And so I think for a lot of my people, I'm gonna have to have that conversation. Numbers are your friend. They will tell you
for
so
real.
much about your business and yourself. Numbers are your friend.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
my goodness. And so our conversation in the strategy section was, she hit me with numbers last week.
Mm-hmm.
And, I have my stuff built out, planned out. She said, okay, well, what are your numbers? And I'm like, well, I got this many people coming and I'm charging this much. She started to drill that thing and break that thing down. I was like, I'm not ready. Hold on, I'm not ready. But
Wait, give us details. So you talking about you got a new coach, or you're in a new program? Which
well, no, this is my strategy coach. I've been with
okay.
her for over a year or so now.
Okay.
And she has just been helping me with strategies and systems. And then she told me we would get to
Mm-hmm.
the numbers. And I'm like, okay, because I thought the strategies and the systems would fix the numbers. She's like, oh, no. She's like, I had to get you some strategies and some systems so you will understand what your numbers meant. And it's like,
Right.
I looked at everything so different when she broke it down. Well, how much does it cost to bring this customer in?
Ooh.
How much does it cost to bring this client in?
You're
How
right.
much does it cost to bring this contractor in? You know, even down to the venue. I got my venue, but it's like all the details that come with the venue, you know, just so many things that I didn't bring to the table as far as numbers.
Yeah.
So it'll make you reevaluate, like even
Yeah.
in time, what does this client cost you in time?
Yeah.
What does this event cost you in time?
Yeah.
You know, so ooh,
Yeah.
so I hear you now. Like I can't make another move because my thing is fast money. And we established that one of my gifts is speed. I know how to get to the money fast, right? But remember, if I don't know if you remember before when I told you about the cash infusion, the program, it was how I would collect money fast to fix problems.
Gotcha.
But then I couldn't repeat.
Yeah, like you could only do it under stress. Like some people they can only do certain things under duress.
Yeah.
And so learning, that's so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's anyway. Hold on, let me get my thoughts together. That's a very real way of operating. But when you want to become sustainable, you can't always produce just out of crisis.
No.
It has to, sustainability is you can produce in the good times and the bad times, and not. And so learning how to not only operate in crisis. And so many of us do it. It's that procrastination. And so we'll say, well, I've always been a procrastinator. I'm just a procrastinator. That's just how I operate. Okay, but you can't keep operating like that. Like, because you're going to get to a point where your projects are so big and so huge. There's no way you can procrastinate on them and do it in the last 24 hours, 48 hours. Just you can't. And if you haven't gotten there yet, your projects aren't big enough.
Yep.
All right, I give you back your floor.
Ooh, child. So even down to, okay, so I think I'm so smart and savvy, like I'm using in my events, I'm using, the Mary Kay method and getting people signed up, for the next event or whatever with me and how they're going to make money with me or whatever. Even down to how she broke those numbers down for me with that. Like, oh, okay. So you're telling me that you're going to, sign this many people up. So with your numbers and knowing your numbers and your costs, you already know what your profits will be from, for the next event instead of just doing it, So just a lot of systems and strategy.
Yeah.
Which will bring the right numbers. And that's just not a space that I have to admit transparently I have never operated in. It's always been, whether it was successful or not, and most times successful, it was winging it and it was willy-nilly, and it looked really good and went over well and people were happy, but I couldn't repeat it.
Yes.
And that's where your money is. That's where the rest of your numbers are. Because if you can't repeat it, you're wondering where the business is. Okay, even if an event for the first time, maybe it wasn't as successful as you thought it would be. Well, why don't you have it on repeat? Why don't you have the next event scheduled and signing those 3, 4, 5 people that might 10 people who might have showed up into the next and giving them an incentive. To show up for the next one and inviting other people.
And can I take a minute or why take this minute and take us on a little pivot on that? Check your Facebook because we should be on Facebook today. So some people might be seeing stuff.
Awesome.
All right. So while she does that, I would like to just take a little side road and talk to you guys about every event you have doing what the military calls an after action report. Okay. Which is where you sit down after the event and you write what worked well, what didn't work, And really, if you could also start to write down a checklist for yourself, that'd be awesome. And so just let me take something nominal. Like my last Thanksgiving. When I was doing it, I was like, okay, but I could have did this 2 months ago. Like it was like little things that I was doing like the day before and probably even the morning of that I was like, why did I not do this 2 months ago? And so something as simple as buying the little burners to heat the food up. That's something that I could have bought 2-3 months before the event. And so if you guys would purpose whatever event you have, the next event you have, every event you have, to do an after action report where you just get quiet and sit down the next morning, maybe, maybe on a nice patio with a nice cup of coffee with a little something in it. And you just kind of write what worked well, what didn't work well, what should I have done earlier, what could have waited, what did I need not to do. And so that each time you are operating from a system, let's say that, B, fine tuning a system over time. So it's not this whole start from scratch every single time. And B, you're going to make yourself so much more cohesive. You're going to save yourself time, energy, effort, and money, because I'm telling you, by the time you have probably the third iteration of that event, it's going to be working on clockwork, because you would have known I can buy this stuff 3 months out. I could have did this 2 months out. This has to be done a month out. This is what needs to be done a week out. This needs to be done the day of, so that it's working seamlessly. And one other thing, while since I'm always I'm out there on that event, so many of my people have done an event, and that first event they have 1 or 2 people show up and they get so disappointed and heartbroken. Do not do that. Do not do that. If you have 1 person show up, you treat that person as if 100 people have shown up. Like you give them an excellent event, because it's that old, I think it's a scripture, don't despise small beginnings.
Right.
And so you have 1 person show up, you treat them like gold. Next time they invite a friend and you got 2 people. Now, if 2 of them invite friends, you got 4 people. Now, all the while, you are fine tuning and perfecting everything.
Yeah.
And so now you know not to overbuy. Now you know what it takes to do this, do that. Now you know you don't need to be working the front door, the back door, and trying to speak. So all of those things. So now your 4 people has turned into 60 people.
Yeah.
But 60 people are having such a wonderful experience for you, and it feels effortless for you, because by this time you've done this 4, 5, 6 times. You have this all written out. You know exactly what you can buy, when you can buy it, how you can buy it, when you can do it, when you can implement it, and everything. And so I think that's people forget. They get disappointed and they don't understand. This is the learning process. You didn't need 100 people to show up the first time. You weren't ready. You would have wore yourself out. And so give it the time. Don't get disappointed. If you have 3 people show up, 2 people show up, 1 person show up, excellent. That's an excellent start. Yay for you. You and to me, it felt like when I had my online event, it felt like, and I think I only had like 10 people in there, but it felt like I broke through some type of glass ceiling just by having the online event. And so that was really good. Okay. All right. So anybody on Facebook checking out?
Yeah, they are here. They're tapping in.
Hey,
so good to see you all here. We are back. Tap in with any questions you may have. 1 second, let me get a sip of tea. Okay, so let me explain what goes along with that process. What people don't understand either, this is your brand building. This is how you are learning your own brand and curating your own style as well. Learning how you teach, how you show up, how you feel good on stage. I work with quite a few introverts. Baby, they only got 10, 15 minutes for you at a time. Some introverts, you put them on stage for 30 minutes and they out for 60 days. They out for 6 months. You know what I mean? So, but you have to, that's that self-awareness. You have to become self-aware. So all along the way, when you are testing, and this is what people are afraid of, some people call it, failure, but no, you're just testing. You're just testing and learning and curating along the way. And like I said, when it comes to that brand, This is your brand building.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like teaching over 20 people. I don't like I like small groups, or I like large groups, and then I like to create small groups
Mm-hmm.
to teach.
Mm-hmm.
10 people at a time. 10 is a magic number for a lot of people. If
Yes.
you're a high ticket person,
Yeah.
10 people, 5 grand, 10 people, 10 grand. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Success.
Mm-hmm.
2 people, 20 grand, two
Mm-hmm.
people, 10
Mm-hmm.
grand,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to understand, like, who is your market? So who showed
Yep.
up? Are you still just filling seats? You have to get to a point where you're not just filling seats. I'd rather 2 or 3 people show up than the wrong people
Yes.
who
Yeah.
aren't there for my real true information.
Yes.
So nothing you do is in vain. You're just
Mm-hmm.
building. That's the marathon. That is part of the marathon. You got to be okay with it. And at this point in life, with all the lessons and all the experiences, you got to know,
Yeah.
like, this is the way it goes. And
Yeah.
once you start building out systems and strategies and get your
Mm-hmm.
numbers right,
Mm-hmm.
then you can start putting stuff on speed.
Yep.
Then you can start having intensive 3 day,
Yep.
3 day intensives and
Yep.
stuff like that, and teaching people in condensed ways, because you got the magic. And I know, like, the magic is all in me, and I know how to take you, one particular person. I
Yeah.
can sum you up in 30 seconds and tell you how to do everything you need to do in 1 hour.
Yes.
And charge you 5, 10 grand. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But they
Yeah.
wonder how, the the popular experts that are out there that are charging that type of money, that's a lot of what they've done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They've condensed their information, and there is a person who will pay you
Right.
to sit with you for your
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
One small portion of it can change another person's life.
Mm-hmm.
So get patient,
Mm-hmm.
and understand that every piece of it was meant to curate the situation you're in now and that you're still building.
Yep.
It's all relevant.
Yeah. It is. That's so good. That's so
Every
good.
bit of everything, all the hurt, the pain, the
Say
blood,
that
sweat,
part.
and tears, it was
Right.
meant to happen
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to become who you are.
Okay. So I want to say two things. All right. Two different things.
Okay.
The first one I want to say is, in my generation, we have a saying, overnight success takes 10 years. And I don't think millennials know that. Or
Right.
generations under me know that or remember that overnight success takes 10 years. And so I think they're learning that now, because there's so many things that go into it, that building that blood, sweat, and years, that's blood, sweat, and tears for 10 years until you have it fine-tuned and everything. If you guys haven't watched, Tyler Perry has like a documentary type movie somewhere. I think it's on Prime or
His
something.
life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's really good because you see him now, and he talked very much about like having a show when nobody showed up and driving home in the rain and crying.
Yeah.
And so we see the end, and we don't often pay attention to it, what happened in the beginning. Okay, so that's one. Part two I want to say is, when you go through that and you're writing all of this down, like you're like, okay, this is the way I need to do this. Okay, this needs to be, advertising needs to start here. And you write it down to where you have a blueprint for how you do your events, how your brand is written down, then it is so much easier to pass off to your assistant. And so, and this is where I've messed up, is because I wasn't documenting the way I did stuff, that when I started hiring people, I didn't know what to tell them to do. And I'm like, well, just do it. I just wanted them to know what to do. And they won't, and the reason is because I don't even know what I do. Like, I just do it. Why can't you just do it? Okay. They're not you. They're not your brand. They don't have your mind and your experiences, your expertise, and your little craziness. So all your little idiosyncrasies. And so therefore you have to write it down. Like, you have to get good at documenting so that you can, so that you can write the vision, make it plain so that they can run and not faint. So like, here's the document. Here's the blueprint. This is how I want everything to run. Implement. And it shouldn't be this whole, like you said, start from scratch each and every time. Like, nope, this is who we use. These are the vendors that we use. This is when you need to order the stuff to make sure that it gets here on time. This is blah, 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 because this vendor always does this, da, da, da. If all that's written down, it's going to go so smoothly for you.
Yeah, it really, truly will. But, you know, we like to complicate things and learn things the hard way early on. But thank God we're where we are now. We know better.
Yes.
know?
Thank you. Which is why, I don't know if y'all remember the book Millionaire Next Door, but most millionaires don't even like start to hit it until after they're 40.
Exactly.
And I see it now because there's such a learning process and a fine-tuning process to what you're doing. And so there's a story of I don't even know where I got this story from. I need to figure it out. Where this man is hired to work on this machine. So this company put a lot of money into this machine and they just couldn't get it to work. They just couldn't get it to work. And so they finally hired this consultant to come in, and the consultant looks at the machine. He checks it all over. He takes a hammer and he hits it in one spot and the machine starts to work just like that. And he charged him $10,000 for that. And so they're like, how dare you charge us $10,000 and you just picked up one tool and worked on it for 2 seconds. And he was like, but you're paying for my 10 years experience so that when I came in, I could pick up one tool and hit it in 3 seconds and it would work. That's what you're paying for. And so understand, please always understand that 10 years of experience, that what is it, 7,000 hours to mastery? That don't sound right. I think it's 10,000 hours for mastery.
Is it 10,000? I believe it's 10,000. I think it's
10,000 hours for mastery. Now I'm just nosy. I got to Google it real quick.
Okay.
How many hours? Because I don't want to be quoting y'all craziness. Say what?
Tiana, Miasha, Tina. Hey, Tina. How are you all? Drop any questions you may have. So,
okay, it's 10,000 hours is the common idea that it takes to obtain mastery. So 10,000 hours. All right. So, all right, my experts out there, have you done your 10,000 hours yet?
And most of them have, and still have an imposter syndrome.
Girl.
You know what I mean? And that's a whole nother topic. You know, we talked about the imposter syndrome, but we'll hit on it again later. But that is one of the challenges that I find with a lot of the women that I'm working with, educated, PhDs. Now they're ready to create purpose work, right? And having the hardest time showing up in their purpose work. But you know why, right? Because they're conditioned that education should look this way, that my expertise should look this way, because this is how we were programmed, right? See, I wasn't programmed that way because I've been an entrepreneur since I was younger, and I just continued that pursuit, right? I tried college, didn't work. For me, I understood early that wasn't my, way of learning best. So that programming was different for me. So I always see like, I got to create a way. I got to figure it out. I got to create something out of nothing. But some people's mindset says that, if it didn't come from this book, or if it didn't come from that degree, or from this expert, or learning from this person or that person, it's not valid.
Right.
So that is that barrier between, a lot of corporate women and a lot of very educated women who are gung-ho about their purpose work, but having a problem showing up in it.
So I haven't heard you use that terminology, purpose work. I haven't. Is somebody else using it? I haven't heard anybody else using it.
Yeah, I think I've heard it. Heard it.
I think you should say that more. When you said that, it's like I was like,
okay, I'll use it.
Like that Lion King, Mufasa. Say it again, Mufasa. Like, just say it again. Purpose work.
Purpose work.
I love that.
Are you and your purpose work?
Oh, I love that. Oh my God.
I mean, I don't think it belongs to anyone. So hey, it's
girl, but I think you might need to take it and start using it. Because purpose work in my purpose work. Yeah,
but it's true. And a lot of people are just not. We have to understand where we are now. if you want to be happy, if you want to even just successful, whatever you define successful as, which a lot of people's mindsets are changing now on what success looks like. It's not all the accolades anymore.
Right. And would you please, people, please sit down and define what success is for you. And once you define that, only move the goal after contemplation and celebration. So what I mean by that is, because I do this to myself and I'm trying very hard to stop. I've been really working on this, is I will move the goalpost on myself. And so it will feel like I'm running a race that never ends. So I have learned very hardly. I have crashed and burned. And so therefore I have learned, so please learn from my crash and burn, is if I set a goal, once I reach that goal, I make sure I celebrate. I make sure like I've arrived. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I arrived at where I wanted to arrive at. Like, and make sure I take time and celebrate. And then spend some time contemplating, okay, what do I want the next goal to be? What do I want the next goal to be? And so what was happening in my life, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are doing, because I know I did it, is I'll get almost to a goal and then I'll move the goalpost. So I never arrive. And I get almost to a goal, I can see it on the horizon, and I'll move the goalpost. And so it had me feeling like I'm never getting anywhere. I'm never progressing. I'm never winning. And so leave the goalpost the same in the exact position. And then you can pass it. And then on the other side, you say, okay, where do I want to go next? So a lot of people, all right, let me put on my mental health hat. A lot of my anxiety people will do that. And they won't realize how far they've come. Or depression people. And so if you fall into either one of those camps, this is what happened. Let's take a very obvious, anxiety, like you're like a social phobia, social fear phobia. Okay, so at beginning, let's say you start working with me, you scared to come out your house. Okay. All right, we get you out your house once a week. And now, because you're scared to go to the store, even though we got you out your house, now you're like, well, I can't go to the store, so my life is terrible. And then, okay, but now we got you going to the store, and you're like, but I can't go to a concert event, so my life is terrible. Okay, but now we got you at a concert event. Okay, but I can't do this, so my life is terrible. And so even though you're progressing, you won't feel it because you just keep looking at the next thing and how you're not good enough for that. 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 And so sometimes a lot of our work as a therapist is telling people therapy works for you. Look at where you were. We can get you out the house. Now we got you out the house 5 days a week and you're functioning and you're having this wonderful life, but you're still looking at like, oh, I can't travel internationally. Okay, but do you remember where you started from? And so it's such a, I don't even know what the word, conundrum that people can get themselves in. So I want you guys all to purpose, one, don't move the goalpost until after you have celebrated. And then with contemplation, think about the next leg of the journey or the next trip and then celebrate that. Okay, that's my 2 cents. Oh my God, it's 9:45. Oh, we started a little late.
I know, that went fast. Let me say hello to some people. Hey, Stephanie. Stephanie said I use purpose work often. Oh, okay, well, maybe so. Cool.
And again, it's like, oh, say it again.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna keep saying it. So, hey, Stephanie. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Chris. Good to see you. Hey, April. So another thing I want, as a therapist, can you please help me unpack? And I know we don't have much time, but unpack where moving that goalpost comes from, because I'm going to say that it comes from programming. And let me explain why. Oh, you graduated from high school. Oh, go to college. Oh, yeah. Okay, you got 1 degree. Oh, go ahead and get your next degree. Oh, go and get your next degree. Oh, okay, you're not finished yet. Go get another degree. Oh, you need 5 certifications. Right. Yeah, I do think it's a part of cultural programming
It is.
Mhm.
And also it feeds into I'm not good enough. And so I won't be
Yes,
good
that's
enough
what
until
it
I do
is.
this. I won't be good enough until I
Uh-huh.
won't be good enough
Uh-huh.
until I do this.
Uh-huh.
And so really doing
Yeah.
that work of like, I'm good enough. I'm good enough
Yeah.
for whatever. Okay, so personal challenge from Natalie, the
Mhm.
therapist, to all y'all people out there right now. Whatever in your life that you're currently thinking about, praying about, stressing over, just start saying, I'm good enough for this. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's say, y'all know I'm working on business coaching. I'm good enough to be an excellent business coach. I'd like to be married. I'm good enough to be an excellent wife. Let's say I'm also working on trying to like get myself to manifest winning the lottery. I'm good enough to win $1 million. So
Yes, you
whatever,
are.
girl, I've been having so much fun
Yes,
with that.
you are.
So anyway, that's a whole other thing about building faith and manifestation and all that. So I'm
Right.
so excited about that. But so back to the challenge of making
Mhm.
sure whatever you're facing in your life, you are saying, I'm good enough to do this. Like
Yes.
I'm good enough. Because that good enough, I'm telling you, it sneaks in so many areas.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah.
unworthiness and like before you know it, you're like, oh, this can't
Then you
happen for
talk
me, or
yourself
I
out
can't.
of what you know
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
You know this work.
You know
It's
this
your
one.
purpose work.
Mm-hmm.
You're built for it. But you
Mm-hmm.
will sit there and you will continue to talk yourself out of it. So
Yeah.
I'm in that space where I'm
Yeah.
pushing.
Yeah.
I'm pushing,
Ooh.
pushing, pushing. And,
Push.
a lot of people, and this is like that side of the coaching that people don't know about me, like, because I've changed, I've become a different person.
Mm-hmm.
I can't sit and watch you waddle anymore, and I can't sit and watch you loop anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have to get you out your loop. That's
Mm-hmm.
part of my purpose. I see you loop and I got to get you out because I was in the loop for too long. And I
Oh,
was begging people to get me out of the loop, please,
yeah.
please, please. But I understand I
Yeah.
had to do the work myself because I
Yeah.
was going to have to help people with this work that I did on myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's so good. Oh, that's so good. Okay. So what's one thing you would say to get people to move forward today?
Recognize that you're looping.
Okay.
Recognize that you're waddling. Okay. Recognize if you don't have what you want and if you're not finishing, you're not creating,
Mm-hmm.
recognize that you are in a loop. That self-awareness. Get you some help. We got
Mm-hmm.
two coaches right here
Mm-hmm.
that can help you out of the loop.
Mm-hmm.
You got Natalie, mindset therapist. I don't know if she
Mm-hmm.
has any more spots. I don't think she does.
I was thinking about that
But
today, how I was
her,
gonna put in 5 more spots. Oh,
yeah,
and
she has plenty of room for coaching.
that,
The
yeah,
therapy is booked, but the coaching is wide
that
open.
is true.
Okay.
That is true.
So, and it's okay that you're looping. The most important thing
Yeah.
is that you become self-aware, you recognize it so you can get out of the loop. Okay. I think
Yeah.
my purpose is entangled in my life downs. Yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
start off good and I get weak when I actually
Yeah.
start going somewhere. Yep. If I get bad news in my life, that's her struggle. She's in the loop. Yeah, that's the loop.
Mhm.
So you gotta get yourself off that loop.
Yeah.
And you know the word. You have some advice for getting out the loop and the waddling and the
First of all, give yourself compassion. So please
mm-hmm,
don't be like, I can't believe I da 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 and beat yourself up. Please don't do that. Don't do
mm-hmm,
that.
mm-hmm,
Give yourself
mm-hmm,
compassion. You're gonna talk to yourself like you would talk to a 2-year-old. All right. We got to have you
mm-hmm.
stop doing that now. I need you to do this
Yeah,
instead of that. It was great.
yeah.
It was fine. You did that because you needed to do that. But now
Mm-hmm,
we're gonna work on doing that faster and faster and faster. So getting out of these loop faster and faster. So you used to be
yeah,
in the loop for 3 months. Now you in the
mm-hmm,
loop for 2 months. Now you in
yeah,
the loop for 1 month. And we want to get
yeah,
that down to like a day.
yeah.
So being very compassionate with your speech and then picking an action point. Okay,
Mm-hmm,
so this is what I'm
mm-hmm,
going to do to take action. And
mm-hmm,
sometimes taking action might just be I'm gonna call this person because when I talk to them, I see things differently and I move.
mm-hmm,
You know,
mm-hmm.
it could
Yeah.
be I'm listening to this YouTube video, but take
Mm-hmm,
action. So first, speak to yourself with compassion. Second,
mm-hmm,
take action. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Taking
Okay.
action is everything. So taking action, it's time for us to
Mm-hmm.
go. But taking
Yep.
action is doing the work.
Doing the work.
Sometimes you got to replace the meditation and the prayer with work. You're going to meditate, you're going to pray anyway. Sometimes you take an hour to pray and meditate, take a half an hour, take 15 minutes and do the work. Do your work on you and do the work that it takes to get yourself out the loop. The work works.
Okay. I want to end where we started at the beginning. The slower you go, the faster you get there. And so don't rush it. Take your time, fine tune, start writing down your policies and procedures of how you're doing stuff for everything. Do you have it written down? Could you hire somebody tomorrow and hand them the book and they would know exactly what to do in your business and how to do it? Exactly. Do you have this? Is it on a workable document, like a Google Doc that we can both change and add to? And okay, we're no longer using this vendor, but we need to do this. Okay, we ordered this, but because of still COVID stuff, now we got to move this back. Like, is that written down somewhere we could send it to somebody and they could take it and start doing it? And so that's the action takeaway step. And the mental health stuff. Like, I am worthy. I can do this. I am good enough. I am good enough, because that. Man, that hits in so many areas. So, okay. All right, wonderful people. We love you guys. And we finally made it back to Facebook. So we're so glad. Yes. So glad to be here. So we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Yes.
And then we're gonna be off, I think, Cherise, and we hadn't talked about this yet. So let me put this out there because I'm starting to take off for everything. That July Tuesday, the 9th, I'm gonna be out.
Okay.
We'll be out.
Okay.
So, perfect. Okay. All right. Bye, people. Have a great day.
Have a good one.